Hello, hello! Welcome back to all of those who are familiar with these oracle readings, and welcome to all of those who are new. Here we will be exploring the energies, the themes, the messages, and the medicine around this particular lunar cycle, which is the first quarter moon. And before we dive in, we're going to set our intention so that the space is held with clarity, asking for the messages, the revelations, the insights, and the directions that will help us to keep our path clear so that we make the wisest choices that will lead to our growth and to the liberation of ourself and this planet, and so be it. So what I have here for you today are the 3 different streams for you to choose from so that this is a more dialed in specific message for you. So you can see here there are a couple of totems for you to choose from. You have in 1, you have this shell for stream 1. You have the turtle totem for stream 2 and the Shiva Lingam for stream 3. 1, 2, 3. I invite you to select now whichever one calls to you most. And as we start to jump into this reading, I'm going to invite you to also take a deep breath. If you enjoy these readings, hit the like button, help me out, and feel free to subscribe for more. These come out weekly, and the full moon and the new moon ones are different, but the first quarter and the last quarter moons are always done in this format where you have 3 specific streams of intelligence that can speak to you. So let's see what we've got in stream 1. Now our top card represents the timeline that we are heading towards, the timeline that is most prominent for us. The second card is the challenges, the shadows, the things that will ultimately create consistent connection with that timeline or can pull us away from it. And then the third card is the practical steps to set ourselves into that path with awareness. And we're working with the Mary Magdalene deck for our first cards that tell us about our trajectory. And this is about the legacy. This is about love, how you love, and that really being the living legacy to which you are leaving behind. And it feels like there's maybe more to that as we start to weave these other cards in. The message will open up a bit more. And yeah, I get that maybe I hear conflict resolution. Something about conflict resolution and the position that you are choosing to take within the matter. Are you truly choosing resolve? Are you teaching about conflict resolution just through your demonstration of it? So this card, this is a little bit long, but we're going to dive in anyway. Why not? It says, I dreamt once that I was at the bottom of the ocean. I felt this impossible weight on me as if I was holding up the entire ocean with my tiny little back. Then, this unexpected ripple of light made me lift my head. I glanced up to see a huge mirror right in front of me. At first, all I could see was the suffering on my face from the weight. But then I saw my grandfather standing beside me, and he had that glowing look of love that he often used when he was alive. I noticed that he was just the first in an endless line of ancestors, all looking at me with the same love gaze. And they were all there holding up the weight of the ocean with me. Whenever I feel this sense of having to do something on my own, or of being alone with my sadness, or with a choice about my life that is creating stress, I remember that I am part of a great unending chain of the love that has come before me. I am just one tiny link. My life is not linear. It does not just begin and then end. My life is a continuation of all the love that has been passed on to me. Love is always legendary. Even though a loved one has passed on and is no longer visible, the love that they are lives on with us from within us. Each time we allow love to overwhelm an unforgiving state we've fallen into, we are connected again to them. All love lives on through us from within. It speaks about how this was a vision Mary Magdalene practiced, how she was able to see Christ within her heart. And that maybe she shared with Sarah, their daughter, and all those around her. This is the form of vision that lifts the weight of what we thought we had to do alone. This is the form of vision that connects us to the legacy of love we each came from. Whose love lives on through me. All right, so this has the signature of the ancestors. It has this incredible energy of resolve. And I'm coming back to this conflict resolution, and whatever it is that's weighing on you, that there's more opportunity to resolve it than there is to be conquered by it. Especially when you frame in this way and you're calling in the beloveds that have come before you. You might even see them as you in another incarnation. And in a way it is, because we have their living memory that's reborn into ourselves through every generation. So we become this iteration of them. The card that you have for your challenge is the Devil. Now, the Devil isn't always a negative figure, because this is often the darkness, the trouble that helps us break out of the cycles that we get stuck in. It helps us break out of the status quo. And typically it has a lot to do with like habits, unhealthy habits that we get trapped in that start within our mind. These habits of self-talk, self-judgment. Ooh, yeah. Just got a nice earring with that one. And this says addiction, abuse, aggression, control. Yeah, it's a special card. So it's really, they're saying negotiation. It's the time to negotiate. Negotiate what? This card is a call to get real about the patterns, behaviors, or cycles you are perpetuating that are unhealthy. This, in a way, is the very essence of shadow work. And as a byproduct of life, each of us inevitably has at least a few ways in which we tend to self-sabotage. This is the moment to name those patterns. Abuse, addiction, codependency, something else. How are you engaging in the perpetuating this pattern now? This card isn't to poke at guilt or shame, nor to trigger any trauma. However, it's a card of calling out. So what they're saying about this negotiation is, have you been negotiating with your shadow? Have you been thinking that you're going to get something out of playing with the devil? And this is the trick. This is the trickster energy that the great deceptive one draws people in on. I'll give you this, like, I'm sure you've heard the story of oh my goodness, it's about the man who sold his soul to the devil to be able to play blues. Well, this is a real thing in the world. People sell their soul. You can't actually sell your soul. You can sell your body. You can sell the right to your body and give demonic forces and entities access to the body, which is the only interface by which will can be exerted in the 3D world. Call on your ancestors. What is it that you're trying to negotiate, and why? And are you fooling yourself? You really need to call yourself out on this fantasy or delusion that you're telling yourself you're going to get something from this. And maybe it seems in the beginning like you are, but ultimately it's going to crash down around you. Power and control aren't always a bad thing. As humans, we often seek these things out after our power and our control has been taken from us. So in essence, much of the occult path surrounds regaining empowerment and controlling our impulses and unhealthy behaviors to evolve and grow into better, healthier, more capable people. And this is calling for work with the ritual calendar. Number ones, you are right in the middle of a transformation. If you agree, hit the like button. Tell me about it. Share in the community. Drop in the comments. What is it that's transpiring? And even like if there's something there that you want to name, just so that there's like the empowerment that comes with being witnessed and having that accountability. So the ritual calendar is based on human gestation, and it's the amount of time from quickening when a woman realizes she is pregnant until birth. And the Mayan word for this, Tonopohali, that's probably not right, don't quote me. Tonali translates to soul. So this is looking at all of the cycles of a 24-hour day, the cycle of a gestational period, and even these grander cycles, these 52-year cycles. So when you draw this, you're reminded of your soul path, your destiny, and your divine mission. And where are you now? Have you lost your way, or are you on your path? Remember the sacredness of every day and to celebrate with offerings and ritual. All right, number ones. It's time to consider your sacrifices. What are you sacrificing and what for? What's your real motivation, and are you sacrificing it to something that you're telling yourself you're gonna receive some kind of benefit from, but really deep down you know that you're just fooling yourself, that you're just negotiating your way into holding on to a pattern, onto a relationship, onto an addiction, onto a habit? And how much are you leaning into your ancestral legacy How much are you allowing that love to permeate and support you as you are in the transition and you are starting to turn the habits, the need for control, to resiliency, to self-discipline, to boundaries, to healthy habits where you're containing your own energy instead of letting it spill out or contracting it with things that aren't going to give you the proper return that you deserve. All right, number ones, congratulations and many, many prayers for you on your path. For my twos, we have the red thread. The twos were the turtle, the red thread, good, recognizing good. The red thread is this idea that we are all connected and bound by this thread of life, this red thread, when we look at it in Gnostic and even maybe Hindu texts as well. So the red thread says that it's hard to remember what we have never been taught. It takes trusting our own intuition, our heart. It takes learning how to listen to what the soul whispers to us when we can get still enough, free enough from the distracting chaos of our everyday life. It speaks of how when she was first given a red thread by a shaman, when I saw her the first time, the only accurate way to describe it is that I recognized her. I remembered her, but I couldn't possibly know or grasp how or from what. And that wasn't the point of the recognition. The point was to strengthen my own trust in myself, because my intuition, my soul, had led me to her. The red thread is about remembering the good within ourselves and each other. And the red thread is about recognizing those who are walking with us, to remind us that we are here together to be the good. It's worn on the left wrist, the feminine side of the body, to acknowledge that it's the feminine within each of us that receives spirit from within. The red thread is for those of us who are devoted to returning again and again to the heart, who listen to what the heart knows and then do whatever we can to put that knowing into action. What do you know in this moment that no one ever taught you? I invite you to take a minute and consider that, truly. Your challenge is the cardinal. And I feel like maybe this isn't so much of a challenge as it is like a guiding force that's going to continue to put you on this path of intuition. The red thread, this is representing that you're moving through that unknown at warp speed, and that there are people that are showing up and they may already be around you, and maybe you don't even know it, or maybe you do. And that every little ping that you get on your intuitive radar is that endorsement of yes, I am here. The universe says, yes, I've never left. I'm here guiding you. You can keep trusting, you can keep trusting, you can keep trusting. So it sounds like this might be more of this reading for you is like you're really in this juicy place. And here with the cardinal card, there's also mushrooms there. And mushrooms they're keepers of Light and dark, they are keepers of masculine and feminine. Most importantly, they're keepers of life and death. And I'm not going to go into my whole spiel about mushrooms, but learn about mushrooms and they'll explain themselves to you when it comes to life and death. But the cardinal connected with the mushrooms, and I get this sense it's like maybe you have recently gone through a death and you're being reborn, or you're in that that liminal space right before the rebirth where you feel really free. You feel like you're flying, maybe. You feel like everything is just starting to open for you, that you're starting to spore. They're so funny. Yeah. So this says angelic presence, love, divinity, empathy, devotion, and passion. You probably have heard that cardinals are often associated with the loved ones that have passed. That when they show up, that sometimes these are messages from the other side. This says you're watched over, you're protected, and unconditional love is at your side. And especially if you have lost someone recently, that this is one of the ways that they are making contact with you now and letting you know that they care, that they're there, that they're supporting you, that they're championing you to come into the fulfillment of all of the living legacy that you are becoming. It's also a connection with the higher realms of consciousness and harmony, bliss, devotion. Speaks of how they mate for life. And this is a call to get honest with yourself and your heart. Who and what are you devoted to right now? Our hearts burn with passion for many things, and it's important to do what we can to tend to our passions to ensure they stay alive. If you feel out of touch with your heart and its desires, this is your sign to find a way to open back up. When our hearts are open, we can greet everyone and everything with compassion, empathy, and tenderness. And how does looking at a situation through the lens of compassion shift your perspective? How does looking at yourself through the lens of change help you see yourself? Who or what makes you feel alive? This says to name it out loud. Move closer to it. Something really not quite activating, but there's a fullness behind this reading, and I guess that is just the wealth of the support of the angelic, the ancestral realm. It feels very bolstered. And your tools are to work with the Lady of Salt. This is from the Jade Mayan Oracle deck. I don't think I mentioned that. So the Lady of Salt. Here's what this looks like. So it says when this comes to you, she might be asking you to embrace your extreme sensual desires, the ones that are often accompanied by the emanation of salty fluids. Or she might be reminding you to hold back, to refrain from indulging your senses, and to avoid excess. Take a moment to examine your life and see what you need to do to bring balance. Okay, so this might be pointing to really getting clear with your motivating forces and making sure that they are wholesomely intended and directed. Yeah, and to really bring more of that intimacy into your love life. So that could mean sexually, but that could also just mean for yourself and your self-love. That could be for others that you're loving. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexually oriented, but if it is, there's probably a great capacity to alchemize and to, I want to use this very gingerly when I say manifest, because there's so many misteachings about sexual alchemy and manifestation, and I would just advise you not to just go with everything that you hear on YouTube, including stuff that I say. But that there's a lot to be gained from these practices of focusing your energy on love in a container that is really designed to be reciprocal. And that is very mindful. Let's see if there's anything else. Number 2s. That feels complete. Number 3, the Shiva Lingam. The golden light. Healing comes from within. Healing comes from within. All right, so tell me, what comes to you? What comes to you when I speak about that? You must be the shamans, the magicians, the healers. You must be the light workers that are being challenged to be your own healers. And it might be that you have been in a situation, you may have some kind of illness or problem in your life. It might not even be physical, that you've been trying to source some kind of balance from outside of yourself, but it just doesn't seem to be sustainable. It seems that you're not able to make the progress that maybe you've been used to before, or that you would like. And from one healer to another, it's because you're being asked to acquire the technology within yourself. It's not that you have to actually go and get it. It's that it already exists there and it's waiting for you to awaken to it, because it's going to become a force that's going to not just direct your life, but a force that propagates healing in the world. This is how healers become healers, is we go through major transformations, and we do so by learning the way through, by gathering the tools, the education, and the inner resources and external resources that help us to progress through that particular course of learning. We have the power to use our imagination in the effort of healing. If we close our eyes, we can immerse ourselves in an inner apothecary. We can allow the imagination to conjure and create potent images, stories, and messages that feel like a balm for the soul to receive, like a sacred medicine cabinet uniquely made for us that can only come from within. I think we each have to live into the answer for ourselves. This means to stay conscious and aware of whether or not we are being merciful with ourselves. Can ask, are you being too hard with yourself? Are you allowing harsh judgment from your own ego or someone else's to harm you? It says gold is always the color of halos depicted by artists throughout centuries. Gold is the goal of the ancient alchemists. Because gold is unalloyed. It's pure, meaning only itself. It's unified, one thing. It has been the mythic and material symbol of divine love for centuries because it has the highest value and deepest worth. This is a reminder to use the power of your imagination to take full ownership of your freed self. What does it feel like to be bathed in golden light? Truly, sometimes it doesn't take all of these like complex systems of medicine or techniques to achieve healing or enlightenment. It can occur, and honestly, like some of my most awesome healing experiences happen when I was least involved. They happen when there was a really fervent, clear prayer, and then I just stepped back and let things move and come to me in their right order and time. So the imagination of golden light washing over or through you, or even into certain parts of your life, objects of your home, can help to shift that energy into the place where you are already healed, where you are in the current timeline that is not subject to the symptoms or the problems. In your challenge, possibly your support, you have the white tail. And I always invite you with these readings to feel into what intuitively comes to you first and foremost. My interpretations, take them or leave them. You know, maybe they're right for you, maybe not. It's the process of rebirth with the white tail. It speaks about how the stag drops its horns and how it's kind of a bloody and painful but necessary process, and how these antlers are used to defend family, defend self, and they're a sign of increasing maturity, experience, and skill. This may mean that you are undergoing a painful yet necessary rebirth. There is a part of your identity, life, or even relationships that must be shed now in order for you to advance forward in your journey and ultimately in your evolution. This process may feel bloody and painful, and you may resist the urge and shy away from it. Instead, recognize that to make room for this new version of yourself, a version that is bigger and stronger than before, you must first prune away whatever is bogging you down. You've outgrown it, and choosing to hold on to it is no longer serving you. And often fear comes with change. It's a bit instinctive, and sometimes we want to double down on the things that are familiar. Cacao is showing up as your medicine to assist. If you're having trouble in whatever this rebirth is, this dying is, Mama Cacao is a great facilitator of walking you through the emotional heartache and fear that causes us to strain and hold on. The invitation is to call on cacao and to work with it ritualistically, very specifically. Again, maybe it is that part of the crafting of your life right now into some kind of healing-oriented purpose or direction is to implement cacao. You've seen it all over the world. If you know me, it's like that's my greatest love affair in this life, and people all over the world are facilitating cacao ceremonies. And while I have, I'm not going to go into my thoughts and opinions about that. Cacao has a prophecy. Her prophecy is that when humans fall out of balance with nature, the spirit of cacao will emerge from the forest to remind the humans of their connection with the world, essentially to harmonize our heart with the sacred heart of this earth, of creation. So there are many people who are being called to assist with that heart reconnection and reverence and grounding and all of the many beautiful gifts that cacao offers. You might be called to bring that into your personal practices, or maybe even share it. It might be a medicine that you're called to keep, the way that I was called to share, not keep, but when I say keep, it's like a wisdom keeper, a protector, a guardian of that lineage and that wisdom. Number 3, you are maybe in a healing crisis, or you might not want to call it crisis. Crisis just means a decision point. It means that it's a crossroads where you have to make a choice. It's a critical choice point. But you're on the path to higher learning and possibly life in service through healing yourself. Welcome, congratulations, welcome to the family, beloveds, and drop your comments, your story. I would love to hear it. If you like this video, hit like. If you want more, subscribe. And I'm always here to support in whatever way I can, so feel free to reach out directly, or you can share it in the group chats. Thank you so much for receiving this oracle reading. May it leave you with imprints of empowerment and truth and light. And I'll look forward to meeting with you again next week with the full moon. Until then, stay pure and keep it simple. Pura Vida.